HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
When opportunity knocks, you don't want to miss the call. Hamilton Business Technologies makes communication easy and efficient using customized technology, all while putting people first. Whether you're working from the office, at home, or on the go, Hamilton Business Technologies equips your business with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Is it time to replace your home comfort system? Call Bryant and save money in every way. Bryant provides you with solutions that save. Save big immediately with attractive rebates, and save every day with lower operating costs. Most important though, the systems are selected to fit you. The right system, priced right, properly installed. That's the way Bryant works for you. How much can you save? Call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing for a free estimate. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Bagels and Joe is the best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. You can't go wrong with one of their great bagel sandwiches or breakfast burritos. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln and their location in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Mo's Moving is now Mo's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com. Tune in every Wednesday night from 6 to 7 p.m. as Lincoln Lighthouse's Executive Director Bill Mitchner educates listeners on the history of Lighthouse, their mission, and how you can get involved in shaping today's youth into tomorrow's adults. Every Wednesday night from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Bring new life to metal treasures with Kaiser Blasting and Coatings. From railings and fences to outdoor furniture and unique antiques, their expert team removes years of rust and weathering, then finishes each piece with a lasting powder coat. Trusted by industries across the region, now local homeowners and businesses can experience the same professional care. Visit KaiserBlasting.com or call 402-421-3559 to request your quote. Restore, protect, and make your metal shine like never before with the help of Kaiser Blasting and Coatings.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Call the trial attorneys you can trust. 877-42-LIBERTY.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is the Power Hour with two-time national champion Todd. Powered by Window World of Lincoln and SetTheBarStuffs.com.
All right. It's 10 a.m. on Saturday, and you know what that means. Welcome to episode number 47 of the Power Hour here on 93.7 The Ticket, where football talk isn't just analysis. It's
Todd,
personal.
you're muted.
Yeah. Can you hear me now? Anything? Interesting.
Never mind, Todd. Keep going.
Yep, you got me? All right. You can hear me. Hope so. All right. So fall camp is in full swing. Husker football is back, and I've got stories from the trenches, 93, 94, 95, from blood, sweat, and black shirts to national titles and life lessons between the lines. We're going to break down what's happening in camp now, what I've seen, how the culture has evolved, and what this team needs to do to return to glory. Plus, probably a few surprises and hopefully some fan interaction. You can text your questions in to the Starter Heyman Jewelers text line, 402-464-5685. So buckle up, Husker Nation. This isn't just football talk. This is the Power Hour. So let's go. All right, and I got a shout out to our sponsor, Window World of Lincoln. They install tough, energy-efficient windows that stand up to storms, summer heat, and winter cold here in Nebraska. So let's jump into it. I just want to share, my experience in 1993, long time ago, right? 32 years ago, I walked into my first fall camp, and I'll tell you, it was life-changing, right? So growing up, I think a lot of people play high school football, right? And, you play it and you show up and you practice 2 hours a day, and, you get to play on Friday nights and all that good stuff. And then you go to college, and, my idea of college football was, hey, it's going to be a lot like high school football. And so in 93, this was the last year they brought the freshmen in. I think we were either 8 or 10 days before the varsity actually showed up. So we moved into the dorms. I moved into Schramm 10 days before the varsity showed up. And it was just us freshmen, so got to meet everybody, spend a lot of time with them. And I think, it was really easy, to be honest. Like, we're learning the playbook, we're doing stuff like that. And probably my first memory was we moved it. We had a moving in day, and then the next day we had to go do physicals at the health center, and then we had to go check out our equipment, right? And I walk into the equipment room, and we kind of standing in a line, and you go through this doorway, and I come through the doorway, and I look to my right, and there was 4 guys playing cards at a card table, and the pads in the equipment were off to the left. And so I looked over and I looked at the equipment managers who were walking back there. I said, that is the biggest offensive lineman I've ever seen in my life. And the equipment manager's like, well, which one? And I'm got the guy at the end of the table in the, the white tank top and the do-rag. He's just massive. And he goes, oh, that's Lawrence Phillips. And I said, no, that can't be Lawrence Phillips. And he's like, yeah, that's Lawrence Phillips. And he's like, why can't it be Lawrence Phillips? And I said, because Lawrence Phillips plays I-back and I play I-back, right? Like, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have any of that stuff. We had the paper, right? Like, I saw Lawrence Phillips, was coming to Nebraska, all that good stuff. But I didn't know what he looked like. I didn't know anything really about him until I met him. And the equipment manager says to me, well, good luck riding the bench. And not so much long after that, once getting into practice and working with Lawrence and seeing what he could do, um, I made the decision pretty early that I'm going to have to get a lot bigger and play fullback if I ever want to see the field here at Nebraska. He was a once in a generation talent. And then I had a Mon Green come in after, behind me. So my claim to fame is that I lockered between Lawrence Phillips and a Mon Green. But I gotta go through all those war stories with them, right? So, but that's probably my first real memory is like the equipment manager, telling me I'm probably going to be riding the bench for a while, and that was just a really eye-opening thing, first of all. And then it was football all day, right? Like in high school, you practice for an hour and a half, 2 hours, you go home, we literally showed up at 6 in the morning and we went till 9 o'clock at night, and it was football. And most, like I've the kids that I've coached growing up, nobody told me that that's what it was. Even my older brother had gone to Nebraska, but just really communication back then wasn't as easy as it is now. You couldn't text somebody. I couldn't call home unless I called collect or had a calling card kind of thing. So, there wasn't a lot of mentorship or that kind of thing. And, just really wasn't mentally prepared to, have football stuffed down your throat 24/7. And I think that's the biggest change from high school to college is, some kids, need that, and some kids don't do as well in those situations, right? So to me, 93 was that first year. I knew I was going to redshirt. I mean, there was no question about that. I knew I was going to have to get bigger. I was going to have to get faster. I was going to have to get stronger if I ever wanted to see the field. And I did that. Like I went to work in the weight room. I never backed down from the weight room. I still don't back down from the weight room. I teach that to, any kid that I've worked with. You just got to outwork everybody. If I can do it from a small town like Battle Creek and make it, get on the depth chart, get on the travel squad, I feel like anybody that puts in the time and the effort can make it happen. So, but 93, we had those 10 days and it was awesome. Like I could have done that all fall. Right. And then the varsity comes in, and, I had all the accolades. I was, all Nebraska, first team. I was the USA Today Offensive Player of the Year in Nebraska. I had all these accolades. And as soon as we went full pads for the first time, we up to this point, I'd been running Nebraska's offense, like learning the playbook. And this playbook was yay thick. Like it was massive. And, we were installing plays and learning them. And I love playbooks. Like, I kind of like a fish to water with playbooks. And I knew the playbook within a very short time. And we'll kind of talk about that when we talk about 94. But, learned that really quick. And then, varsity came in and they're like, you're going to scout team. Okay, cool. I'll do what I need to do to make the team better. And so we got over and I got stuck on run station with Scott Davenport. Both of us playing I-back on run station, and they hold a card up and you go run the play. Now, the first couple of days we were just in helmets, so there was no contact. It was, I was like, oh, this isn't so bad. And then we put full pads on, and you could just see like Mike Anderson's eyes light up, and Phil Ellis and Doug Coleman and guys like that. Trev Alberts was on the team in 93. These guys just couldn't wait to hit somebody. And I got to be their little tackling dummy all fall. It was not fun. I don't suggest it for your body, but it was literally hold the card up, run this play. Every other play, pretty much I got the ball. And I remember that, I'm thinking the first play, I'm like, all right, I'm going to show these guys that I, belong here. And got the ball, and if I remember right, little ISO off to the right. And, I hammered it in there as hard as I could. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to show him what I got. And Mike Anderson hit me harder than I've ever been hit in my life. I went from my feet to the back of my head pretty quick. Pretty sure I sustained a nice little concussion there. But that's back in the 90s. They laughed it off, and back in the huddle I went. And I got a little smarter about, just tucking it in there. You started to learn how to get hit, how to not necessarily you weren't going to avoid getting hit, like, and if you avoided it, they made you run it again, right? So it was definitely a really hard time. And I mean, I'm telling you, my offensive line, my scout team offensive line was Aaron Taylor, Fred Pollock, Matt Hoskinson, Adam True was there. We had basically the 97 national championship offensive line was my scout team line. And I remember thinking, man, where did they get these guys? Because they can't block anybody. And, but that's just a transition from high school football to, D1, at the time, one of the top powers in the country. And I just always remember, man, if these guys could just like hold a block for a half a second would be nice. And obviously they got better. They learned. And that's one that, it's probably the place that I started. Like, I'd never really failed before that. Like, never, like, everything we did, we won a state championship in high school, in football, won a state championship in baseball. Really never like we won a lot. I think if I remember right, I've lost 7 football games from junior high through college. I mean, like, so never really failed. Yeah, we lost the state championship. I'll give a shout out to Norfolk Catholic back in '91. We did lose that game. That was the only one we lost that year. So we won a lot of football games, but learning this was, I mean, every day you failed. Like, there was days I never made it to the line of scrimmage. And that was like really hard pill to swallow. Right. And I could try and blame it on the line or whatever, but I had to get better. And I remember, fall camp just being absolute, like, I literally had a bruise on every part of my body. It was nonstop. We had 3 days. We would practice in the morning. We'd eat. We would have meetings. We'd strength train. We'd have another practice. We'd have more meetings. We would go do another practice and have a little more meetings, and then, home at 9:30, back to the dorm at 9:30. Now, we didn't bring the whole team into the dorms like they are doing this year, and we'll talk about that maybe a little bit later in the show, what's going on there. But it was such a mental challenge first, and then the physical challenge was just beyond like anything that I dreamed of. Like, I didn't know that I was going to be challenged physically and mentally at the same time at such a level. And I didn't ever think in fall ball that I was going to quit. I remember getting into the season and probably thinking I was going to quit maybe a lot of times, because it was brutal. And, it was a meat grinder back in the 90s. We had, I don't know how many guys we had a lot of guys on the team, and, everybody was moving. Everybody was, if you weren't, injured, you were, full bore, all practice long. And, I just remember the heat, in like, that turf was unbelievably hot. Like, these guys today got it a little bit easier. It's not as hot. Like, this was AstroTurf, and you literally, if you got tackled the wrong way, it would peel, 2-3 layers of skin off. And then you'd be putting Silvadine on it and wrapping it. And it was pretty brutal turf. And we always practiced at least one of the practices on the turf. We go down. I was at practice Thursday morning, and Jay Foreman was there, and we were kind of reminiscing a little bit. And you were like, the Hawk Center, that's where Buck Belzer Field was at the time. So we had a couple grass fields next to Buck, but kind of in their outfield, and we would go out there and practice. And we just, whenever we got to practice on grass, it was such a relief because it was so much less hot, and then obviously you weren't getting the turf burns and all that good stuff. So fall of '93 was crazy. It was just a time that you're not in high school anymore. It's time to grow up, and if you don't watch what you're doing, you're going to get knocked out. I probably did get knocked out several times. Once again, back then they just kind of, there was no concussion protocol. There was none of that. They just kind of, yeah, how many fingers I got up, man? I don't know. And they're like, you're good. It was pretty interesting time. But I think too, back to '93, like going from that, little high school kid at 185 pounds that I weighed in, and coming, into '94. Well, in a lot, obviously the scout team, all of '93, kind of one of my favorite things is that I had kind of worked up, and we had to play Florida State for the national championship game in the Orange Bowl in '93, and they had I don't remember his name, but they had a little slot back that was number 12, and they made me that guy. So I didn't have to play I-back, which was awesome, except for the fact that I thought, oh man, this is great. I get to go play the slot receiver, and I get to do this all the time. Well, this guy always ran underneath. he'd always come underneath. And so the middle linebackers were coached to knock him down every play. So unfortunately, I went from getting the ball every other play, getting tackled, to every play running underneath and getting knocked down. And that kind of leads us into, winter conditioning, spring ball, had a pretty good spring, moved up from 8th on the depth chart to 4th on the depth chart in spring. And then in '94 fall camp, I went home for the summer to work, and I'd be real honest, like I partied. Back then, like Husker football players, we felt like rock stars. We were top of the thing. We were just lost the national championship by and so I came home to Battle Creek, and I worked all summer. And that year is the first year that in '94 that they cut down, and the NCAA was only allowing, so you couldn't bring in the entire team like they had in the past. You could only have so many players, and I don't remember the number. I don't know if it was 105 or what. And I honestly didn't think that I was going to get called in, because I was a walk-on, right? There was I don't know, 6 or 7 scholarship I-backs in '94. So I really didn't think that I was going to get called in for early camp, and I thought I'd report when school started. And unfortunately, I'd been working all summer in the family business at Burger King and partying a little too much. And Coach Solich called me about 2 weeks before fall camp, and he said, "Hey, we're going to need you. We need you to report da 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 da." And I'm like, okay, cool, I'll be there. I was excited, except for the fact, like, I stepped on the scale and I was like 230 pounds, and not a good 230 pounds, right? Like, so I spent the next 2 weeks dropping about 20 pounds, training hard. And I don't suggest that. They don't even really let the kids go home anymore. My son's down there, and I mean, he was there all summer, working hard. He gained 8 pounds of muscle this summer, versus me gaining like 25 pounds of fat my first summer. So he's on a better path than me. But that was '94 for getting in '94, knowing we had unfinished business was our theme, and that was really the focus was, hey, we're gonna go back, we're gonna win a national championship. And so being the 4th-string I-back, I got to travel, do all those fun things, and it was a really awesome experience. But that fall camp was so much different, because I was now 4th-string I-back. I was not on scout team, and so it was just running plays, being ready, knowing what to expect, against the defenses, that kind of thing, who to pick up. And so completely different experience. Like, I wasn't bruised from head to toe. I'm grateful that I wasn't on scout team anymore, but it was much different experience from the first year. So I always kind of tell kids, like, you got to get through that first fall camp, that first year, and then the speed of the game kind of slows down for you. You learn from all those failures, right? And it was I would say 94 was definitely my funnest fall camp, and just for the simple fact that, like, once again, it was football nonstop, training, all that, 3 days. But I was at a different level, right? People looked at me differently. Like, it's just different when you're 4th-string versus, scout team. So, to me, and and we'll get into in the second segment of kind of what I see happening now versus what we did. But it was a lot of fun. And then 95, unfortunately, coming into fall camp, I injured my shoulder in spring ball a little bit, and did not probably rehab the way I should have all summer. Once again, I was a walk-on, but I was going on scholarship in the fall. So I needed to work. So I worked for Dr. Fricky. He was a dentist. From what I understand, he was the last guy to ever play both ways at Nebraska. And so I worked for him all summer, cutting trees down around his pond and that stuff. So coming into 95, I had an injury. We get into 2 days, or fall camp, I should say. We're probably more like 3 days, but I think we kind of tapered it down at that point a little bit compared to 93 and 94. And, I ended up really re-injuring my shoulder pretty badly, but I got through camp because I was like, there's just no way I'm going to miss this year. And so I got through camp, and we got to our first travel game, and I didn't get to go on the travel squad because I was injured. And so I said, well, if I'm, I've been practicing, if I'm too injured not to go on travel squad, then let's get it fixed. And so I had my shoulder fixed in 95, and really, that was pretty much the end of the career. Doc was like, hey, this is really bad, and if you hurt it again, we don't know where we're going to attach things. So, I think the science now is a little different. You see these guys, we just seen, a tight end go down, or not necessarily his ACL did not heal right, something like that. But yeah, that was pretty much the end of the career, and really did really was interesting mentally trying to figure out what's the next step, right? So, but we're gonna go to break, and so if you guys have questions about fall camp, you want to ask me anything, you can text into the Starter Heyman Jewelers text line, 402-464-5685. Tristan can help me on that if we get some questions. And so I want to say, as we go into the break, thank you to WinterWorldLincoln.com, the trusted name in windows, siding, and roofing across the capital city and surrounding communities. If the storms this summer left your home worse for wear, give the pros at Winter World a call and schedule your free estimate today. Stick around, because coming up next, we're diving into more Husker football talk, stories from the locker room, and what it takes to build a championship mindset. You're listening to the Power Hour with me, Todd Uhlir, on 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. To honor the new store opening, A1 is offering $25 off any service over $300, $50 off services over $500, and $75 off services that total over $750, all through July 31st. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive.
Life changes, and sometimes that means changing where you call home. Whether you're downsizing, growing your family, relocating, or facing tough times, you shouldn't navigate it alone. I'm Laura Bonta-Bush with Woods Bros Realty, and I'm here to guide you with all your real estate needs. As wife of football coach Bill Bush, I understand the importance of teamwork and making sure you are supported every step of the way with honesty, integrity, and compassion. If you're looking for a game plan to buy or sell your home, text or call me at 402-525-0843. That's 402-525-0843.
At Schwezo Construction, safety isn't just a policy, it's a promise. Build with us. Work safe, go home proud. We're hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back, on and off the job site. If you're ready to be part of a company where your safety and success come first, visit schwezo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com and apply today. Schwezo Construction, 40 years strong and still building the future.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
Bagels and Joe is the best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. You can't go wrong with one of their great bagel sandwiches or breakfast burritos. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln and their location in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with pay starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between, we'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Back to the Power Hour with Todd Uhlir on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to the Power Hour here on 93.7 The Ticket. We're rolling into segment 2, and things are just heating up. I'm Todd Uhlir, and we're diving deeper into Husker Fall Camp, the intensity in the air, and what separates good teams from championship teams. Back in my playing days in 93, 94, 95, Fall Camp was really where toughness was forged and, literally legends were born. So how has it changed over the years, right? And is today's Husker team built for a Big Ten run? Okay, let's break it all down. So I think too, literally fall camp is where, it is 24/7 football. There's no school. There's no time for, anything but football. And if you come in with any other mindset than that, you're going to struggle and you're going to get left behind on the depth chart. And I think that's really what separated our teams back in the 90s from a lot of other teams, is that we knew, we were focused, we were united. We were all working to help each other get better, right? Whether you were on scout team or whether you were first team, everybody was there with the same goal in mind. We wanted to win a national championship, right? And it's been a long time since Nebraska's been there. And, without drinking too much of the Rule-Aid, right? I feel like we're going in the right direction. Just from spring ball, what kind of transpired over the winter, having a little bit of an inside track on that, with my son being on the team, is, I feel confident we're going to be super competitive, right? And I think we have a chance to do that. But this fall camp, Coach Rule's fall camp, they brought all the kids into the dorm. They have standards, so it literally is football 24/7. You can't go anywhere. You don't have car keys. They do have their phones, so I do get a text every now and then that I'm still alive. But I went to practice the other morning, and I'll tell you what, guys look. We don't have a lot of guys in yellow jerseys, which is good. Yellow jerseys are, you're injured. Unfortunately, my son's one of them in a yellow jersey right now. He's limited. He broke a toe in spring ball, and it just won't heal up right. So he's getting some limited stuff. But so I think that too, fall camp can be that time where we want to stay healthy, right? And we want to build upon what we've done all summer. And that's really what I thought separated a lot of Coach Osborne's teams, is, the unity and coming in and playing for each other. Now with this, age of NIL and transfer portal and things like that, we brought in 2 new offensive linemen. I'm super interested to see how the offensive line, is it better, right? Have we taken a step in the right direction with the offensive line? Because we obviously have a talent at quarterback. He's very talented, and have we taken a step in the right direction with our receiving core, right? With the guys that we brought in. And to me, what really separated 93, 94, 95, being national champions twice and playing in a national championship 3 times, was the fact that we all, there was no transfers, there was no portal, there was no NIL money. You got your little stipend on scholarship, which, I was blessed in 95 to go on scholarship and get a little stipend. It wasn't much, right? So, I don't think that, I think today's coaches have to deal a little bit with ego with these kids potentially. They're making money doing something that in high school you love to do, but once again, it is a job. For those of you out there, they're like, man, I can't believe it. Literally, it's a job, and you're there. I was all for paying players, have no problem with that. Obviously, some of it's gotten a little crazy when you look at what some of these teams are spending. on their NIL budget. I think it's somewhat ludicrous to think that it's worth that much, right? But revenue, if you're bringing value into the world, you get paid, and that's what college football does, right? We put people in the stands, they sell jerseys, all that stuff that creates that value. And yes, I think once again it should be, these kids should be getting paid, but you have to deal with some of that in camp. Like, I think Rule was asked the question, like, are you going to play a kid that you're paying, $100,000 over a kid that's, not getting any NIL because of, the fact that you're paying him like that much, right? Like that dynamic is there now. And I think that's, going to change, college football. And I love coaching. I've coached youth football, and I love coaching. I coach guys all over the country in their fitness and nutrition and stuff like that. And I've coached a lot of, D1 athletes when they're younger. But I wouldn't want to be a college coach right now. It's got to be very, very difficult, kind of just navigating this landscape, right? And now with the, $22 million revenue share type stuff and all that. So I think it gets pretty interesting. So this fall camp, what I'm seeing, what I saw, I've been to one practice. Guys were moving I thought really focused on special teams, which definitely needs to take a step forward, or a leap forward, for us to be, thinking that we can win, 8 to 10 games this year. If we don't get better in special teams, we won't. That has to happen. So those kind of things I'm looking at for this season is, have we made those steps? Are we going in the right direction? And like I said, so today's fan day. I'm going to be down at the Hawks at 4:30 until 6, getting some autographs. Definitely going to get number 32's autograph. This is the only one I really care about. But and then going over to watch the first full pad practice at 6:30 in Memorial Stadium. Can't wait to see. I haven't seen the new field yet, so I'm excited to see that in the new color scheme that they have. But I did get to see the new grass fields Thursday morning. Phenomenal. It was raining and it was holding up pretty darn well. So it's pretty awesome to see those new grass fields. And so I think the biggest thing, like, these kids are pretty pampered in fall camp. I mean, we didn't have, a cold pool to walk in. We didn't have all these things. We had literally a cow tank with ice and water in it. That was our cold plunge after practices. And I think pretty much, I was talking with Matt Hoskinson yesterday. I was trying to get him to come on the show, but he's out in Chicago going to a Cubs game with the family. I was talking with him, and we were just kind of reliving some of those glory days. And if I remember right, most of the offensive and defensive linemen were the guys in that tank. And once you got those guys in there, the water would overflow. There's some big dudes. Water would overflow, and I wasn't getting in. So, these guys have phenomenal meals laid out for them, as did we. They've got a phenomenal, training facility. At the time, we had one of the best, and now I look back. I look at where they train now versus where we train. We had one of the top weight rooms in the country at the time, and now we have one of the top ones again, and it's just so much different. And it's interesting to see. And talked with strength coaches, because I love strength training and that kind of stuff, and it's kind of my thing. And just a different way they train kids versus how we train. I mean, we literally trained for strength and explosiveness, and this crew, I think, has gotten guys bought into the, hey, you only need to, and I bought into this as well. You only need to be so strong to now. Once we get to a certain level of strength, how do we put that on the field and make it useful, right? and once again, back in the 90s, Boyd Epley was way ahead of his time, right? Like, just getting guys bigger and stronger. But now, if we're getting to a certain level of strength, and can we make that useful on the field instead of just per se a power lifter, right? So, and I think fall camp really just sets the tone for the whole season, right? And some of the biggest differences I see is probably the contact. Like, there's just not as much contact, and I, as a former player, I'm like, man, these guys need to hit more. But as a dad, I'm like, man, I'm glad my kid doesn't have to go through some of that type of physicality that we went through back in the day, because I just went through my 3rd back surgery, which was my 9th surgery overall on my body since leaving college. So I think we are looking out for the athlete's health a little bit more with limiting contact in there. So and I think too, I've kind of said, who I'm looking at that offensive line. I'm looking at the receiving core, the tight end room, right? Like, can we, moving Harburg over there. Carter Nelson looks healthy. I think we had the one guy go down, the transfer. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to play, but will our tight end rooms, I don't really see, Lindenberg is doing really well. So we've got all the pieces on offense, and I'm an offensive guy. So just so you know, even though my son got moved to linebacker, I'm starting to have to learn some defense stuff. But I always left the defense to somebody else when I was coaching. I like running the offense. So I guess that's what really pops out to me for this upcoming season is can we take that step on offense? But getting into the defense, I think obviously losing Ty Robinson, losing Polar Bear, how are we going to fill those 2 gaps up front? And I think we will. I think the guys that, from what I've seen in spring and, the one practice so far, I think those gaps we're not going to, you don't replace the Ty Robinson, but you hope to just, he was phenomenal. But I think, our linebacking crew's deep. Our defensive backs are deep, and a lot of experience on defense. So I think the biggest thing on defense that we got to look for, can we get a stop when we need a stop? Get the defense off the field, get the offense back on the field. I think that was huge last year in the fact that we just couldn't get our defense off the field. And then if we did, we didn't sustain a long drive on offense, that kind of thing. So, but fall camp is definitely where, I think you'll see not a lot of movement on the depth chart in fall camp. I don't think you ever see a ton of movement on a depth chart in fall camp. It's usually those guys are in place, but injuries happen, right? So I think we got our number 2 running backs injured. So right now, I'm trying to think of his name, can't. But so I think that's going to be critical. That these guys get enough reps, know the game plan going into this first game in Arrowhead. Super excited for that. And we Tristan, you got any questions about fall camp? I'd love to bring you in if you got anything.
Yes, sir. We actually got a few from the text line. If you're ready for those. The Virginia Pirate, have you been to this year's fall camp? I heard that you say you did. What were your overall impressions and any guys that stuck out to you?
Yeah. So I went Tuesday morning, and I got there at 8:30, and they were running through special teams and that kind of stuff. And nothing really, like just the focus on special teams. That's probably the most I've seen. So I think that should be a significant improvement this year. Just how much they're focused on special teams, and that's that plays a really big part, although it doesn't seem like it should, but it does, right? So that was kind of the first thing that I saw. And then they kind of broke off, were gone for a while. Got to talk to a lot of the coaches in between that. Coaches are doing a little work. Got to talk to Coach Brown. Brings back memories of Coach Brown being at, all of my fall camps, and got to talk with him a little bit. And then they came back out and just went right into some teamwork. Well, they stretched, they did all that good stuff, went into some teamwork. And I thought guys were moving in with intensity, with intention. People knew what was going on and, what was expected of them. So nothing else really stood out too much.
Yeah, that's what I've kind of heard for the most part. I think everyone's really excited. And like you talked about, fall camp is super important. We got to go to break, but we got 2 more questions that we can talk about in the third segment if you want to bring us to break.
Cool. All right, man. Well, this segment was brought to you by our good friends at setthebarsups.com. If you want to fuel your own performance, recovery, and edge, check them out today. Setthebarsups.com, trusted by athletes, former Huskers, and weekend warriors alike. Stick with us when we come back. It's our final segment of the Power Hour, and we're excited to take on some more questions. So we'll see you when we get back.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Mo's Moving is now Mo's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Roll-Off will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikesrolloff.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Offs, cleanup made simple.
Breaking here at the news desk. When you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, you can lock in your price for 2 years. Sources are confirming that when you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, your monthly price drops and you're locked in for 2 years. That's fiber fast internet, premium streaming TV, and reliable nationwide mobile coverage. And this just in, you must switch by Labor Day to secure that locked-in pricing for 2 years. Switch, stack, and save at allofiber.com/stack.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Do you need a lawyer you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion? The attorneys at Liberty Law understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Contact us for a free consultation by calling 877-42-LIBERTY. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with the child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Back to the Power Hour with Todd Uhlir on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, and we're back for the final stretch of this week's Power Hour. Thanks for riding with us on 93.7 The Ticket. It's been a blast talking all things fall camp, some stories from the glory days and breaking down what's next for Husker football. But we're not done yet. So in this final segment, we're going to bring it home with some fan questions, and we're going to have a little giveaway. So if you want to win a free $25 gift card from Set the Bar Sups, get your phone out now and text Set the Bar to the Starter Heyman Jewelers text line 402-464-5685, and we'll pick one lucky listener at the end of the show. So let's close it out strong. Tristan, we got another question?
Yes, we do. From Derek in a car. Todd, the Huskers have really struggled in the month of November for almost a decade now. How does Coach Rule find a way to fix that glaring issue with such a daunting schedule that month?
Love it. I think the biggest reason we've struggled in November is the Big Ten schedule, right? Like the Big Ten's no joke, and you have to be deep, right? You're gonna have injuries, and I think we've just haven't had the depth that we've needed to compete through a full Big Ten conference, season. I think that's been the biggest issue, is we just haven't been deep enough. So I do think our depth will be better this year at a lot of the positions. So hopefully, and we always pray and nobody gets hurt, but it's college football. People get hurt, and you have to be prepared for that. And I think that's where you see some of the, the guys that are at the top of the Big Ten are just deeper, right? So.
Yeah, I totally agree. Derek in the car also followed up and said, I'm comforted by the fact that Dana is our OC because he has a good mind in how to attack opposing defenses. Give us your take just on Dana and what you expect from the offense this year.
Yeah, I expect a lot out of the offense. I really do. This being Dylan's second year, he's not a rookie anymore. Just that year under his belt, confidence built. He had a good season. I wouldn't say it was great by any means, but it was a good season of learning, and I think we'll see him take that next step as an elite quarterback should, right, in year two. So and I think with Dana calling the plays, he has a great mind for offense. And now that he's had all this time, he's had spring, and he came in the middle of the season, like that's hard. Now he's had a spring, a summer, and a fall camp. We should be seeing some really cool stuff out of our offense.
Yeah, I think it'll be nice for Dylan, one, to have just one OC for a full season. And then also, like you said, he's not a rookie anymore. He's a guy that, maybe expand the playbook a little bit more. What are your takes on just, being a freshman and then kind of developing into that sophomore year? Because there's a lot of growth that happens.
It's a tremendous amount for anybody to come in and play as a true freshman, and is phenomenal. It doesn't happen very often, right? It just doesn't, because you're just not there physically. You're not there mentally for the most part. I thought Dylan came in and showed that he had the physical talents, he had the mental talents, he knew the playbook, made a lot of good decisions most of the time, right? So being able to progress on that is going to be really, really fun to, hopefully fun to watch, right? Like, I mean, and once again, not trying, like, I get so excited, and then, you know, we've been let down for these past umpteen years. I mean, we're doing our 30-year reunion against Michigan, right? So, I mean, it's been, you know, 28 years since we've won a national championship, or I mean, it's since 99 since we've won a, you know, conference championship. So, you know, I'm not looking for us to go out and win a national championship. I'm looking for us to go out and compete for a Big Ten championship is like really my goal, and like be super competitive in that in year 2 of Dylan. You know, hopefully we've got him for 2 more years, but you know, he could have a national championship kind of run in year 3, and we may not see him again, but who knows? That's you can't really predict the future, but I really think we'll see that step forward. And I think he'll be protected better. I really believe our offensive line is going to be better this year. So I do think that.
Last question from Bill and Bennett. What number is Trent? I think you already answered this, but what number is Trent? And bring us home.
He's number 32. So, well, hopefully he got a little more action yesterday. So hopefully he'll potentially be out there tonight. So I'm, you know, going to go watch and see if he gets on the field a little bit tonight. Not sure if he will or not, but number 32 playing linebacker. Really excited. Weighed in at 235. So, that's the biggest he's ever been. So, guys, thanks for joining us. Did we got a winner for Set the Bar?
I got a text, but I like Bill and Bennett's question, so if we could get it to him, I'm totally...
Bill and Bennett, awesome. Bill and Bennett, text your email, and Tristan, give me his email, and I'll get him that $25 gift card shot out to him. All right.
Yes, sir, will do.
All right, and thanks for joining me. Next week we're going to have I don't know what we're going to do next week. It'll be fun, but I'm going to a couple more practices, so we may have some more Husker talk. We'll see what we're going to do next week. On the 23rd, I got all 5 of the Uhlir brothers, all 5 of us in the same room. So that's going to be a fun show on the 23rd. So, guys, have a great week. Get out and see the players at Fan Day, and come watch them in Memorial Stadium tonight. Well, I'll be there. God bless. Much love. Peace out.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Attention all Wings fans, Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village. When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned